is Tamás Maráci. I work for the Danube Institute, and I have a special guest this week called Päivi Räsänen, who is a Finnish politician, former chairwoman of the Christian Democrats and former Minister of Interior in Finland. Thank you very much for coming here. And everybody who knows your case, and I studied your case yesterday actually in a deeper term, and you are facing criminal charges in Finland at your home for quoting a Bible verse on homosexuality, if I want to summarize and simplify your case. And for me, it's fascinating because you are not a nobody. You were a former minister at your home. And Finland is not a no place. It's in the heart of the European Union. It's a European liberal democracy. And the whole legal case is in these two aspects. It sounds extreme. What did you do? Can you explain shortly what the legal trial started for, and what did you do? What was the cause of the whole stuff?
This legal case started over 6 years ago when the Finnish Evangelical Church, Lutheran Church, decided to support the Helsinki Pride event. It was a shock to me and also to many others, and that's why I was considering to resign the church, but then I thought that it is not my time to leave the church, but try to influence. And I took a photo from the Bible where Apostle Paul teaches about these issues about marriage and gender and sexuality, and directed a question to the leadership of the church that how does this fit to this foundation of the church, the Bible, that you support the Pride event. So it was about a concern of my church that it would undermine people's trust on the Bible, which is Word of God.
You're very surprised what followed that?
It was really a surprise. I could never have believed that something like that happens in Finland, because what I have said and what I have written, it is classical Christianity. It is what Christians have been teaching hundreds or thousands of years, and it is not hate speech. I have not insulted or defamed anyone. I have just lifted up what Bible says about these issues.
And the exact term of the Bible is sin. That was the hate. That was a very borderline of the hate speech and the free speech of a Christian, that calling the homosexuality sin.
Yes.
It's very interesting because it's a huge topic, I think, because in a liberal democracy, a Christian should be free to agree with God in the Bible, right? And if you agree, that you will face trial. Is it true?
Yes. It is in the core of the accusations of prosecutor general that if you say that the homosexual relationships are sinful, it is hate speech. If you say so, you think that these people are inferior to other people. I have told in my booklet and in front of police and in court that absolutely I believe that all people are equal. We are all created in image of God. But we all are sinners, and when we speak about sin, it is something between God and man, and it is a theological concept. In fact, it should not be in secular court at all to speak about sin and about theological interpretations. But
so the intention was not to incite against a minority group in Finland, right? The orientation was not there.
Yes, I'm accused of breaking against the law about agitation against minorities. It is under the title of war crimes and crimes against humanity, and that's why it is the prosecutor general who is prosecuting this case. So it is a serious crime in our law book. It can give up to 2 years prison or heavy fines.
But twice you were acquitted, if I read rightly.
Yes.
So it means that even the courts in Finland understood your arguments or your lawyers' arguments that you are not inciting against a minority group, but you just insist on what the Bible says about this kind of sexual activity, which is a sin. Like the Bible calls it sin, you just repeated that.
Yeah.
And the question is that if in a certain time, I don't wish that, but in the Supreme Court, your case is before the Supreme Court, and the judgment will be on spring, right? So
I hope so. I do not know.
So if third time you are acquitted, that's a clear picture. But God forbid the court finds you guilty or something. That will be a very interesting case because somehow the court will judge God too. I mean, the word will be charged.
Yeah. Yeah.
And God cannot be in a court, right? Or can he? I don't know. So that's a question.
In fact, even the secular media, our public broadcasting company, made a title that Bible is on trial. So it is not about my views, it is about Bible. And when the police investigated my pamphlet that is also there, not only the Twitter update, but also a pamphlet that I had written already 2004, male and female, he created them. The police himself said that in his statement that if my pamphlet, if my writings would be banned, then also the Bible should be banned in Finland. So this is about the core question is here that is it allowed for Christians to in public to agree with the Bible in these contradictory issues?
And what I'm curious to know that is it an accident? Your case is an accident in a legal system of Finland, because I have friends in Finland and I know your state works well actually. So it looks like a specific problem here. It's like not a general thing. And what is the status of free speech and religious freedom in Finland? Are they in trouble in general, or is this specific case is like a little bit accident here?
We have, of course, in our constitution, freedom of speech, and we have also joined the international treaties of these freedoms, freedom of speech and freedom of faith. But we have seen also in Finland more and more cases where they try to cancel or ban Christians to express their views, and I would say that this new ideology, gender ideology, and LGBT advocates, they are quite active to try to get into power by cancelling and by trying to ban these Christian views.
And are there any results in a lawmaking in a parliament through this lobby force?
In European Union, there are proposals to even make more limitations to freedom of speech, and we have seen those also in Finland. So we have had this law about agitation against minorities since 1992, so it is not a new law. It was renewed in 2010 when there was added the online crimes and also sexual minorities. But at that time I was also in Parliament and the law was approved unanimously. I could never imagine that it would be weaponized against Christians to express their beliefs, because I had written my booklet already many years before that law was approved in Parliament. So they have taken this law and now use it against or try to use it against Christians. And the most dangerous consequence of the possible conviction would be the censorship, because I'm not the only one who has written or spoken about this issue. Then thousands of similar writings would be in danger if I would be convicted. Yeah. But of course, I'm happy that I have got two acquittals, two unanimous acquittals.
It's important. We will see the third one, the final one. But I found a very good notion on your legal system. Some called it as there is a danger there. In your case, there is a danger if the system changes to the direction they just put the Christians in a impossible situation, cannot express themselves in a religious freedom way. The secular blasphemy law, which means that Christians, Muslims, even Jews and other religious people can be put in a corner because of their religious views. So one atheist can say, I think there is no God. God doesn't exist. He can tell that. But if you call homosexuality sin, you are banned. So it's I would call, if we are in the European Union, it's very a double measure, I mean. So one is anti-discrimination, yes, and the other society member, citizen, cannot be out of the discrimination. So what is your explanation?
Yes, I totally agree that we are in that kind of danger, and that's why it would be important for all people, not only for Christians, but also to atheists and people from other faiths, that we have freedom of speech. And perhaps it would be time also to make the laws better. So we should be very careful to limit more freedom of speech, because someday it would turn against anyone. It depends who is in power.
I see. And let's talk about your church. You mentioned your church, and you criticized the activity of the church considering the pride. And I saw some criticism of your views, conservative views, from even members of your church, the state church in Finland, the Evangelical Lutheran Church of Finland. How come? So many even Christian believers don't agree with you, and some leaders of the church don't agree with you. It means like the church is a little bit in a schizophrenic state, doesn't follows the biblical teaching, and some point that they don't follow the biblical teaching. How, in a good shape? Are the churches in good shape in Finland?
The Finnish Evangelical Lutheran Church, which is the majority church in Finland, over 60% of people belong to it, it is in crisis. It is very divided. I would say that the leadership of the church, the bishops, they are very liberal and progressive. They, for example, they promote same-sex marriages, and there are many pastors who marry same-sex couples. Even though officially the Church Act doesn't approve these marriages. According to our Church Act, the marriage is only for one man and one woman. But we have also inside the church, we have many conservative Christians, Bible-believing Christians and organizations, and I have got huge support from the church. But there are different opinions, and as well as our whole society is divided in this question.
At the end of this conversation, I would like to ask three different short questions about your beliefs and your statements in the past, and now you consider this kind of conviction as a Christian. One of them, homosexuality, and about the abortion, and finally migration, if I may. Homosexuality. Many, even Christians say that we are uncertain about what Jesus taught about homosexuality, because in the New Testament there's no exact sayings of Jesus about the same-sex relationship, all the stuff. What is your answer to that criticism?
I would say that the Bible from the beginning, from the Old Testament to the New Testament, it is very clear that marriage is between man and woman, and the relationships between same sex, they are very clearly said sinful and shameful. So also Jesus says about marriage that it is between one man and one woman, and what Bible tells, it is what Jesus tells, because he is he is the Lord of all the Bible. But of course, God has created all people as His own image, and homosexual people are equal in their value as well as all people.
I see. You are anti-abortion, and I would be very interesting. How is the public sentiment about abortion in Finland? Because I know your views, but is it a minority view or the majority one?
I'm so sorry that it is minority view in Finland. So we have very liberal abortion law in Finland, and we have too much abortions. So I have tried, for example, to get the freedom of conscience to doctors, because we don't have it in our law that you would refuse to do abortions if you are working in that kind of office as a doctor.
I see. And my last question is about the migration. I find a notion of yourself when you were in the minister office, I think, active politicians in a government, that you claim that the Finnish asylum system should favor Christians over Muslims, and that was a controversy behind this sentence. So can you explain what is the consideration behind this logic?
Yes, we have had this experience in Finland, that those asylum seekers and refugees who have a Christian background, who are persecuted for their Christian views, they can very easily integrate to the Finnish society, because they get easily friends from different parishes and churches, and they get easily friends. But we in fact, I have to say that we have much more difficulties in some other groups. For example, Muslims who come from Somalia, it has been very difficult for them to integrate to the Finnish society. So of course, we have to take these asylum seekers who come to border, whatever their beliefs are. But when we think about those refugees who are in camps, and we can select, then it would be good for them that they had possibility to integrate to the Finnish society.
Absolutely understandable. Päivi Räsänen, thank you very much for the interview, and I wish you the best for the Supreme Court trial.
Thank you so much.
God bless. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And thank you, dear viewers, for your attention. We see you next week each other. Bye-bye.